Hi there, welcome to today's painting tutorial. In this episode, we are going to paint a koala bear with acrylic paints. And if you're new here, check out my free guide in the description below. And there you can find a free link to the sketch as well as the brushes and the colors that I'm going to be using. So let's get started. And I'm going to start with a size 0 round brush. And let's use that to paint the eyes. So I'm going to start with a black paint and let's put in the pupil. And then I'm going to bring that up around the top and then pick up some white paint and put that in as a little bit of a highlight. Then I'm going to get lighter, so we'll pick up some of this burnt sienna color and start putting that along the bottom. And then I'm going to pick up some black and put that around the eye, sort of to create the eyelid. Okay, and then let's pick up some white and put this as a little bit of a lower eyelid. And then we can start feathering that down and bring it around the outside edge of the eye. Okay, so now let's look at the other eye. So we'll take some black and put that around the pupil area again, and then go around the top, and we can bring it around the bottom. Then let's put some white paint along the top as a highlight, and then pick up this burnt sienna and go ahead and fill that in around the pupil. Okay, and now let's take some white paint and make a little bit of an eyelid, and then pick up some more black and go around the eye a little bit more. And that's going to mix kind of into a grayish color, and that'll create a nice base layer for the eye. Okay, so now let's work on the nose. So we can take some black paint and make a really dark area here along the bridge of the nose, that top area. And then I'm going to use the dark black to go around the nostrils. Okay, go around the one on the left side. Then I'm going to bring this black paint up towards the center, sort of coming at a point. And then we'll pick up some gray paint and see if we can start to transition that. And then I'll pick up the light gray and start putting that in the center area. And that's kind of where the highlight is going to be. Okay, so then let's take this dark gray paint and come down to create the mouth. There's a little bit of a shadow here around the mouth, and I'm going to feather that in. And then let's bring it over to the left side as well. It's just a little bit of a shadow that goes around the chin area. Okay, so let's do the nostrils. So we'll take some of this brown paint. This is a burnt umber. And I'll start putting that in the center of the nostril. And then pick up some pink and try to mix that in. And then we'll put that on the left side. So there's some pink in the center, and then it feathers out darker into that burnt umber color. Okay, and then let's take some of this pink and bring it down along the mouth. This is kind of a little bit of a grayish pink color. Then we'll take some light gray and transition that down. I'm gonna rinse off the brush and then pick up some white paint. And let's try to feather that white in there while the paint is still a little bit wet. And use that to create some of the fur around that mouth area. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that around the nose. So carefully go around that on top of the kind of darker gray color. And start adding the white in. Then it kind of comes around the edge here. And I'm going to take some light gray paint and feather that in as well. And then let's try to do that on the left side. So take some white paint, come around the nose, and then pick up some gray and start feathering that down. So you want to think about the direction of the fur, the direction that that hair is going, and that's the direction that you want your brush strokes to go. Okay, I'm going to bring it around to the side and up. And then let's take some white paint and bring that over along the top of the eye. And then bring it down here. Okay, and then feather it underneath the eye as well. Okay, so now let's bring some white around this eye on the right side. So try to feather the white paint around that eye, and you can go on top of some of this gray paint as well. And then let's pick up the lighter gray and start feathering that in around this white that we put in. And again, I'm thinking about the direction of the fur and how that is moving and how the hair is growing. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to switch brushes. So I want to use a little bit of a stiffer brush, and that's going to help me get some nice coarse texture for the fur. And I'm still going to use a size 0 round brush for that, but this one, it's kind of an old brush that's pretty thick and coarse. So let's pick up the darker gray color, and I'm going to start putting that around the nose. And I'm going to pick up the lighter gray, start feathering that in, switch back to the darker gray and come around this area. So now I'm feathering the hair in, and I'm thinking about the change in value. Pick up some white. So I'm getting lighter, so I'm going to keep putting in a little bit more white. Okay, so let's look at underneath the chin here. I'll take a mid-tone gray, start feathering that in. Okay, I'm going to use that to put a little bit of a shadow in the center, and then over on this left side. While that's still wet, let's pick up some white and feather some white in there. Okay, and then we'll do that same thing over on this side. So I'm going to pick up more mid-tone gray and try to mix that in with the white. And we can get lighter, going up in this direction. Okay, so this area is going to be pretty light. And then we can put a shadow underneath it. So we'll pick up the darker gray, start putting that in. Okay, and you don't have to fill this area in completely if you don't want to. You can make it kind of abstract and painterly by just having some brush strokes that are not filling in the entire area. Then I'm going to pick up some white and sort of feather that in so it has a better transition. Okay, so now let's focus on the forehead. So I'm going to take a darker gray color and start feathering out this way. Okay, and then I can get lighter. So I'll take some lighter gray and mix that in. Then I can add some white. Start feathering that out. Okay, I want to get light around the crown area. And then we can get darker. So I'll grab the mid-tone gray. Being pretty loose with my brush strokes here. Just trying to get the appearance of hair and fur. Can be pretty loose. Okay, and then we'll be a little bit darker around this ear. And then a little darker around this ear. If you want to, you could add a little bit of black to get even more contrast. Okay, so now let's work on the ear, the inner ear. So to do that, I'm going to switch to a size 6 filbert brush. And for inside the ear, I'm going to start with this burnt sienna, or rather the burnt umber. I'm going to put this in where the ear is. And then I'm going to pick up burnt sienna. Start putting that in next. And then let's pick up the pink color and try to mix that in on top of those colors. And just let that blend a little bit. Could also pick up some beige and mix that in. Okay, and then we'll do that on the left side. So you want to take the burnt umber and then the burnt sienna and some pink and then a little bit of beige. Okay, so you just have that nice gradation of color. Okay, I'm going to come back with some burnt sienna and add that to transition this one a little bit more. Okay, so now let's switch back to the 0 round brush. This is the one that just has a little bit more structure to it. I'm going to take the dark color, the dark gray, start going around the ears. Might pick up a little bit of black as well and put that in just so we have a little more contrast. Mix that in with the dark gray. Start feathering that in around the ear. Okay, and then I'll pick up some light gray and start feathering that in as well. Okay, so you're just trying to get these ear shapes. And then while that's still wet, pick up some white. And you can use that to start feathering in the white. Have it mixed together. Okay, you can bring it all the way down to where that sketch is. Just make it nice and shaggy looking. Okay, and then we'll do that same thing to the left side. So let's take the darker color, bring that around. Start feathering it off to the side. Okay, and then we'll take the lighter gray, or the mid-tone gray rather, start putting that in. Okay, well that's still wet, let's pick up some white paint and then allow that to mix in, wet on wet. And start putting that in. Have some nice texture. Okay. And you can use your creative license at this point to kind of make whatever design you would like. It can be pretty loose in this area. Okay, so then step back and look at your work and see what kind of changes you want to make. So I want to work on the eye a little bit. Let's do that with a size 0 round brush. So I'm gonna let's pick up some black, and I want to refine this left one a little bit. I'm gonna bring some black up here and along the bottom. Just needs another layer and needs a little more realism. Okay, and then on the right one, I'm going to do sort of the same thing. Add a little bit more black, then refine that bottom lid. I'll bring some black back over here. I want this one to really pop. I'm going to make that line a little bit thinner. Okay, and then let's come back to this one. Okay, so now let's take some white paint, and I'm going to go back and try to put that highlight in. So I want to water it down a little bit, try to get the right consistency so I can try to get a realistic highlight here. Carefully put that in, and then go back to this one on the left. Okay, I'm gonna take some beige paint and sort of come around the eyebrow and try to add a little bit more detail to that and refine the shape a little bit. Okay, I think I need a little bit of burnt umber on this eye. Highlight got a little bit too big. Just refining that eye. Okay, I'm going to grab some white paint and try to put a little dash for a highlight. Then we'll do the same for this one. Okay, and now let's take some white paint and come back around this area under the eye. Just want to do some final sort of white details, highlights. Okay, I'm going to bring this area a little bit lighter. And then I want to come around here and sort of make this area around the nose a little bit lighter. Bring that fur together. And then come down this way and add a little bit more white to the chin. Then let's pick up some white and put a highlight here on the nostrils. Try to make a really thin line. Then I might add a little bit of a highlight on the top of the nose. Then I'm going to blend that out. So I'll take a little bit of water and try to blend that highlight and soften it a little bit. Okay, and then I might pick up some black again and bring that mouth out a little bit more. So redefine that. Then I could take some of this burnt umber and add a layer of that. And then the pink. And just kind of smooth that out. And then I'm going to take a little bit of a dark gray and then add that over here, just as a bit of a shadow. Okay, and then to blend that, let's take some lighter gray and some white paint and blend that out a little bit. Then I'm going to bring this highlight up and down a little bit. Okay, so now let's take some white and put some final highlights around the ears. You could do this with a different brush if you wanted to get some more kind of precise lines. I'm just going to start from this base, just bring out some of these individual hairs, going on top of this pink color. We'll do the same thing on the left side. Just coming out. You can be pretty loose with your brush strokes here, but try to go in the direction of the fur. And then you can take some of the darker gray and add another layer on top of that so that it blends in nicely. Okay, so I'm just going to maybe add a little bit of a beige color under this left eye. I think it needs a little bit of an eyelid there. Okay. All right, so you could go back and refine this and add more details if you want to. I'm going to call my painting complete. So thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe for more painting tutorials. Get your free guide in the description below, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.